Casual Magic has been sponsored by Quiver, maker of the Quiver and Bolt deck cases and other fine deck holding accessories. Use the code CASUAL on their website for 10% off your order. This episode is also brought to you by Monopool, a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering that makes buying and selling cards easy. Their optimizer helps you get the best value when buying cards, and their team is focused on making it a great experience for buyers and sellers alike. You can also support Casual Magic directly by going to our Patreon at patreon.com/ShivamB. And now, on with the show. Hello and welcome to Casual Magic, the show where we talk about the fun side of Magic the Gathering. My name is Shivam, Bhatt, and Casual Magic is brought to you by Quiver and by Monopool and my patrons at patreon.com/ShivamB. Today I'm really excited because I have a guy who I've been trying to get on my show for like 3 years or something. The great Scottish artist Paul Scott Canavan, dear friend of mine. We got to hang out actually, so it's like we're real friends actually now. We've hung out in your house and mine, so it's even better. How's it going, buddy? It's been so long.
Yeah, I'm so glad we finally got to do this. We have indeed hung out in real life on both sides of the pond.
Dude,
so
like I went to Scotland last summer. I mean, I went to England, Scotland, and Sweden, and you were my Scottish visit, and it was awesome. It was so cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, did you enjoy Edinburgh? Was it all you'd hoped for? You'd been before, right?
No, I've never.
No, you hadn't. Sorry,
I'd never been that far north before, and I wish I had spent more time there, and I wish I had thought to actually like book visits and stuff. We were there for 2 days. We did one Highland tour, which was really, really sick. My son was like over the moon of seeing actual like cows. I mean, coo all over the place because they look hella cool. They're like big fuzzy monsters and stuff. And then the weirdest thing in the world, we were on this Highland tour, and it takes us all the way to this village on the far side of the island somewhere to go and tourists into the locks and whatever up there, and like we go in and it's this tiny little tourist town, but like maybe there's like 30 people that actually live there and they run all their small shops and stuff. And I go into the gift shop, and the lady running the register is an Indian lady, or like this Indian teenage girl, and she's speaking with the thickest Scrooge McDuck brogue you've ever heard in your life. And I'm just like, we are literally everywhere. What the hell?
Yeah, man.
It was so weird.
I was going to say Scotland's a diverse place. It's actually not that diverse generally, especially compared to like south of England where you have,
it's like there's Scots people, and then there's like Scots people.
Yeah, I mean, Irish folks. It's a lot of white people. Yeah, let's be real. But every now and then you'll bump into someone from somewhere super different. There's tons of interesting lineages in Scottish culture. It's really fascinating.
I don't know. It's like after we hung out with you when we were there, we went to this fabric store just because we were getting gifts for people. And the fabric store, there was a nice Punjabi lady or something sitting in the back. She's wearing full Indian garb and everything. And like, her son's there folding clothes. I'm like, oh, cool. It's like an Indian sari shop. It's fine. And I talked to her, and she just starts going off, and her accent's thicker than yours because she comes from like the Highlands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's like, me ma came here 50 years ago. And I'm like, your ma came here 50 years ago? I'm like, what? It was so crazy. I can't even pretend. It was such a... And then my wife turns to me and she's like, look, dude, if you can sound like a surfer, she can sound like, a Highlander. It's fine.
Honestly, I love that.
Yeah. How are you doing, dude? It's been a while.
It has been. I mean, I have no concept of time due to all that ADHD, but it has been a while now. It is now the frozen time, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it must be. I mean, it was cold there when we were there in the middle of June. So in the middle of February, it must be like just like.
It's like -4, which I think to most people probably isn't that bad, but to us, it's not great weather right now. It's wet and a bit icy, basically.
I'm like, bro, I live in an area where being like 22 degrees means time to pull your thick jackets on.
Yeah, that's fair. But every time I go and see like my friends in Finland or something like that, they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's like -30 today. You're like, all right,
but that's Finland, man. It's like the tundra.
Literally.
Yeah, so before we get started, though, I did want to ask you one thing. You had introduced me to a whiskey when we were in the bar, and I forgot what its name was, and I've been trying to figure out what the hell it was for a long time.
Was it Bunnahabhain?
It was like you said it was like your favorite whiskey, and it's super mild and sweet, and it was really good tasting, and I could not spell it or remember it. So
yeah, it's called Bunnahabhain. It's from Islay. The spelling
but the problem is in Scotland, those are all like, there's like a million letters in there that don't count.
Yeah, it's BUNNAHABHAIN. I'll send you it after this.
Yeah.
But it is a really nice Islay whiskey. It's not super strong, super sort of intense.
Like I don't drink very often, but I was like, I'm in literal Edinburgh. If I don't drink an actual whiskey here, I feel like I've failed something.
Yeah, I feel like that really leveled up the whole trip when you had that dram and you were just like, huh.
And it was it was a dram. It felt really cool. Anyways, dude, the reason you're here is not to talk about our love of vacations, because like it was funny. You came to GDC one year, and I took you out to like lunch, and you hung out with me and my family and my mom randomly. My mom still talks about you. She was like, "Man, I hope that your friend in Scotland is doing well." And I'm like, "Yeah, I think he's."
Oh, she was so sweet. That whole day was so much fun.
Yeah, man. But the reason I'm talking to you is not at all about hanging out. It's because you are such a delightful artist. I love your work, and I love your work in magic and in other things you've done. And I just wanted to talk about it because, real talk, you have drawn the swamp you did in Throne of Eldraine might be my favorite swamp in all of Magic.
Oh, thank you.
That's
actually a huge compliment.
I mean, there's a lot of swamps in Magic, and like, but the thing is, you got this like pale pink light in the background, and like this sort of, it feels like it could either be dawn or like the setting sun. I mean, I guess it feels more dawn than setting sun, but God, the atmosphere in there is like, I just love the way you do landscapes, and especially like when I look at like all of your art and stuff. The person in the front is all fun and good, but the thing that always grabs me is your landscapes and lighting are so good.
Oh,
and they just fill me with great amounts of pleasure to look at.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes from the fact that I'm actually much more of a landscape artist than I am a character artist.
Yeah,
I actually kind of hate painting characters, to be honest. like it's the thing you kind of always have to do when you work on Magic, and it is, it's a pleasure to bring some of these characters to life. A lot of the time, I just want to paint a lake, just let me. I just want to paint like a cool mountain or something, or a forest, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like the way that like the light reflects off the water, and like you see, I don't know. I love landscapes. I love I mean, I did a list on a thread on Twitter back when Twitter was a thing, where I was like, here's my favorite art from like every set. And what I realized in going through 400 sets worth of cards was that I love the images that are basically like, here's a gorgeous landscape with one little dude in the corner looking out at it because there has to be someone there.
Like the classic concept art stick salesman guy. There's the guy with the stick, and there's a vast landscape.
That is exactly it. Give me dude with stick, or give me map. That is what I want. I call it the Legend of Zelda art, like Legend of Zelda 1, where Link is out there and he got a sword and there's the whole of Hyrule. And I'm like, that's what I want. Just give me like 150 of those, and we're good.
Well, if you can talk to Watsy and get them to just commission me to do 150 of those,
oh my God,
I'm all about that.
I just need you to do more basic lands, and then I will be a very happy camper.
I really want to do a full set at some point.
Oh my God, that would be so sick. That would be so sick. So let's talk about your art style then. Like, when did you start? I started drawing as a kid. We all know that. But like, how did you decide to become a professional at this?
So I think I kind of fell into it to some extent. Yes, very much the always drawing as a kid thing. But for me, it was more just like always being creative in different ways. Like I was really into writing, and I was really into drawing and playing music. And when I sort of finished school, it's a big sort of thing in Scotland, at least, that like, and the UK in general, when you finish school, it's like you go to college or you go to university. It's like an expected thing, and education is basically free in Scotland anyway. So I kind of had to just like pick a thing. And so I kind of picked art on a whim, like, because it wasn't even my favorite of those three examples I gave, I would have rather done music, to be honest, or writing. Like I love music and writing probably even more than I like art.
Don't you like also play like an instrument? Because I know
I play drums,
like drums a lot.
Yeah, I play drums in a band and do some session stuff. And I'm making my own game now, so that's a lot of writing as well as everything else. But yeah, no, I picked art because it was like the first thing that kind of sprung to mind. I was like, sure, I don't know what to do with this thing, but I'll try that.
Sure, I will go to the highly profitable and easily employable field of art.
Yeah, as a sort of colorblind artist as well, which is always the sort of hilarious kicker.
You're colorblind?
Well, yeah, I'm red-green colorblind. Yes.
How the hell do you paint magic cards?
Oh, it's so annoying. I've written articles about it. They're out there somewhere. You can find them. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that as well if you want. It's
because okay, look, dude, magic art that's literally two of the colors, right? Like,
yeah, I'm not allowed to do red or green cards. I always forget that, like, yeah, that does kind of, no, I mean, okay, the short of it is, it means that I have trouble seeing red tones. So I'll often get greens and yellows mixed up. And I'll often get like blues and purples mixed up because there's more red in purple. And it makes that side of things difficult. So that's actually why I've been I've been focusing on digital painting for most of my career, actually. I've recently gone back to painting traditionally, and I did my first traditional magic card recently.
Oh, that's sick.
For a set. So that's exciting.
I'm excited to see that.
But yeah, you can work around it. But yes, yeah.
No, I mean, I was just going to say, I'm like, that makes sense because digitally, then you would be able to sit there and like, you can look at the actual color numbers and whatever and be like, this is in the red spectrum. Okay, so I can at least focus and figure out like shading and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it was more of a stressor when I was younger, because as I got older, I realized that actually, this is getting a bit technical with painting in general, but like values, i.e. what the thing looks like in black and white, is much more important than color. So having a bit of green in the sky or whatever is actually fine. Or screen the skin. A lot of skin has green hues. You know? So like if I screw up, when I was a kid, I would have been mortified. But as I got more and more confident as an artist or learn more, I was like, well, whatever. If there's some green in the sky, as long as the whole sky isn't green when it's meant to be yellow, it's fine. And like you say, you can check it much easier with digital.
Yeah. And like, in black and white, especially because you're looking at like shading and lighting and tone, and it's like the specific color, you can make it work, but as long as it's like striking enough to be separate, like, because I'm looking at, for instance, your Force of Negation, which is also another just beautiful piece of artwork. And it's like, the bright blue orb in the middle of the dude inside, and then this red chaos outside. Yeah. But like, there's no green there. So you could totally probably just have been able to make this one work.
It's really easy, yeah. And actually, you will notice probably less green in my cards overall, just because I'm less confident using it. Unless I am literally painting a forest. Like I assume, again, this is how I have to do it. I'm like, I assume there's green in like the swamp somewhere, probably. There's probably some green in like Royal Scions, because they're on a Scottish landscape. But like, I don't know.
Vaguely green.
Like, I don't think I've painted any green cards.
Hilariously, you've done one green card. You've done one, which was Loathsome Chimera, and that card is ironically more ice blue and like black than green.
yeah, it's true. But I have avoided it for a long time because I'm just less confident with it.
It's really cool looking monster though.
I know, I love that one.
So you went into college to do art, and did you study fine art specifically, or
no? I studied animation. That was what I chose to do. Again, kind of same to why I went to college. You have to choose a subject. There's like fine art, illustration, which doesn't mean this. Illustration in art school is like cutting out paper and sticking it down and like putting text on top of it. It's a really weird subsect,
like collages and things.
Collages and like. I don't know, like the kind of stuff you see on not Christmas cards, but like gift cards, like very simple drawings and stuff. It's all cool stuff, but it's not what we think of when we're talking about like imaginative realism or whatever.
It's more evocative.
More like, almost like
line
cartoons and line drawings and stuff like that.
That's cool still.
It is cool, but it didn't appeal to me as much as animation because I was like, ooh, I could do, Disney stuff. So I studied 2D animation. I sucked at it. I was never very good at it. But during my time there, that's when I learned how to use Photoshop to paint the backgrounds for people's films. I started getting into background painting.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really, I loved that sort of stuff. And then it was during my time there that I basically learned what concept art was. Concept art for the audience, if anyone doesn't really know what it is, because actually most people don't really know what it is. It is the design job behind, films, games, all that kind of stuff. It's not generally about pretty pictures. It's much more about designing costumes and vehicles.
The idea of what it is.
Exactly, yeah. Something you can show to your team to be like, it's kind of like this. And
so
then
like when you go to like the artist who's like, hey, I need you to draw a guy with a sword and he needs to be wearing this thing on page 43 of this design book.
Exactly, yeah. Because Magic has a lot of great concept art in it as well, like exactly what you're talking about there. So yeah, I basically focused on concept art for most of my career. I graduated from uni just by basically only playing Counter-Strike and Smash Bros for 3 years. I somehow got a degree. And I basically just spent the next 2-3 years building a portfolio, learning how to paint, how to do all that sort of stuff.
Cool.
And then started landing my first jobs in 2008. And
where were you working, or what did you work on?
My first gigs were for weird little freelance films. You know, a really weird thing is that one of them, I worked on this in 2008. So this is one of my first jobs. It just came out last year.
What?
It's it was actually a film that came out. I could not believe it. I just assumed it was one of those.
Sat on it for 20 years.
I don't know. I don't know what the story was, but it just popped up in my IMDb. I was like, wait a minute, that's that thing.
It popped up in your IMDb.
Yeah, it's so strange. I don't remember what it's called. It's like a film with oil rigs or something.
Sure, why not? Did you paint oil rigs?
Yeah, it was like a post-apocalyptic film about people surviving on oil rigs in the sea because the sea level had risen or something.
That sounds kind of cool. I mean,
it's cool. It's a cool setup. I have not seen it. I should really need to go see it actually. But yeah, I worked on a bunch of stuff like that and little indie games that never went anywhere. And eventually, after I did that for about 3 years, and then I got hired for my first in-studio job in 2011, and that was working through in Glasgow with a tiny team working on adaptations of classic literature, which I loved.
I mean, that sounds awesome too.
It was really cool. We were doing one of Wuthering Heights. We were doing one of 39 Steps, which is a sort of famous British book. And when I worked on that, I got to paint. I painted all the backgrounds. These were all the places that I learned how to, mainly that my focus was on backgrounds because I painted, I think it was 150 backgrounds or 200 backgrounds for this game. And they weren't all good, that's for sure. But I learned.
But the thing is, the practice is good, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. My career just kind of moved that way. I don't know if you want me to go through my entire career.
No, I mean, whatever. We don't have to, but we can fast forward to did you enjoy drawing fantasy art and monsters and stuff? Or did you read a lot of fantasy as a kid or something? How did you get into that?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was just, the most
nerd like us.
Classic nerd kid. I mean, I just grew up on, playing RPGs. I played, Shadowrun when I was young, and
I love Shadowrun,
Vampire the Masquerade, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I loved. I was always a very gothy kid, just as I am now. Gothy
You're
adult,
still a big gothy kid, my dude.
I know, it never changes. And Warhammer, of course, Warhammer 2nd edition I got for my for Christmas, and that was life changing.
But yeah, so how did you get into drawing for Magic cards? When did that happen?
So I'd been working as a concept artist, then lead concept, then art director in the games industry for quite a while. And I was lead concept at a company in 2016. I applied to work on Magic a few times, but I've said this on places before. I kind of went in with that classic confidence of not really knowing what I was doing, a bit of kind of Dunning-Kruger, I'm ready. I must be ready. Look at all these things I've worked on. And I was just sending stuff to Magic expecting to get hired for 3 years, I'm pretty sure. I definitely sent 9 applications to them.
Yeah,
I just didn't have the right stuff. I wasn't putting enough time into the work that I was sending them because I was a concept artist. Concept art's a lot about speed. So yeah, in 2016, I made a decision that I was if I can make a real go of this, I feel like I'll regret it. So I quit the company I was working at, forcing myself to go freelance, which was really scary. Yeah. And I spent I think it was 3 or 4 months building a portfolio just for Magic, just building here's a landscape piece, here's a kind of story piece, here's something a dragon or whatever, and I basically created 5, I think it was like 4 new pieces and a couple of other ones.
When did you hear about, had you heard about Magic before? Did you play it as a kid?
Oh, I played it as a kid. Yeah. I played Magic back when Tempest was out. Tempest was like Tempest and Portal. I can never remember which order that goes in, but like those were the sets I started with.
Sure. I could look it up, but it doesn't matter. But that's still like old enough to be like, okay, you've been around for a bit. So you actually were familiar with Magic. Because I like talk to artists who are like, yeah, I had no idea until like I just submitted to draw this thing. And then it's like, okay, cool.
No, I was obsessed with Magic when I was a kid.
Yeah, actually, like Tempest and Portal came out like within months of each other.
Okay,
that like makes Portal came out a little bit early, and then Portal was like that spring, and Tempest was that fall.
What year was that? 2000 or something? 97. Okay, God, I'm so old. Yes, I was playing that at school, and I was obsessed with it, and I sort of stopped playing Magic for a while, and then came back to it when I was working in games at some point. Like all my buddies, we kind of had like this incredible ever escalating war because we were all working in a game studio getting paid okay money, and so we were able to order increasingly ridiculous modern decks at the time. We were just like, we would be just shipping out whatever the stupidest modern deck we could find, some like turn lands into guys and skip 2 turns or whatever, like absolute nonsense. It was like, my buddy would be like, I just spent £50 on this deck. And I'd be like, whoa. And I'd be like, I just spent £200 on this deck. And it was just going up and up and up. So yes, I played a lot of
arms race.
Yes. It was hilarious. Like I have such a core memory. You just unlock this core memory of just like every day the postman coming up to our studio with like a parcel and just like looking around at like one of my 4 buddies who were playing and be like, oh, what have you got now? What's the new thing? It was so fun.
All right, which of you bitches bought the Eldrazi? Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. It was me. I was the Eldrazi guy for sure.
So you knew about Magic and you played Magic. So you're like, I want to draw for this?
Yes. Yeah. I don't think it always had the thought in the back of my mind, but it wasn't until that 2016 where I was like, okay, now I'm going to focus. So I made that portfolio and I posted it on Imgur and Reddit. I guess the same thing. And I just did one of those. This is one of those stories that is like when people are like, how did you get work on Magic? This is one of those absolutely unrepeatable events where I did a stupid Imgur post. It was called, I've quoted this so many times because it comes up in so many conversations. It was called, I'm a Scottish fantasy artist. Can I find this damn thing? I'm a Scottish fantasy illustrator who hopes to work on Magic the Gathering someday. Thought I'd share my new portfolio. So I shared this on Imgur and it blew up a bit and went to the front page. Which was cool. I was like, oh my God, I'm on the front page of Imgur. That's so exciting. And that night I got an email from Jeremy Jarvis. Yeah, well, I did at the time, or I had maybe a top section
or a homepage or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's like because Imgur is one of those things where it's like people use it as just image storage, and you link to it. I've never gone to it.
I had never used it before. This was like the first time.
That's crazy.
I got the email that night from Jeremy Jarvis, the head art director, being like, "Welcome to the team," essentially, which was crazy. And I cried. I cried my eyes out. I was just like, "What is happening?"
Because also, you're right. That is exactly unrepeatable. How the hell are you gonna like that day? Come on.
I know, it's bonkers. You'll occasionally hear a story like that, like some artist like brought their portfolio in a little thing and left it on the doorstep or something like that.
Oh yeah, right. Like
when they're giving career advice. Yeah, it's like that's not advice. Like this will work for anyone. Yeah, it worked for you somehow.
You are lucky.
Yeah. Artists who want to get work for Magic, give it a shot by all means. But
yeah, it's funny. Like people are like, oh man, how did you get started? I'm like, well, the biggest name in Magic the Gathering is a professor, and he took an essay I wrote and threw it out on every channel he had. So I recommend I recommend being friends with the biggest person in whatever you want to get big in. and then
that's not terrible advice, I guess. if you can manage it, that seems like a good way to go.
Seriously. Because like I'm looking at like Scryfall and it looks like your first assignment was literally Judge Foil Ristic Studies.
No, this is a lie. I think Scryfall's wrong here. My first assignment, Ristic Study, was, I think...
Oh, you know what? Because of the way the timing is, it might have been the first one that came out.
No, I don't think it was. Like I worked on the order it goes in was Rustwing Falcon and the Zombie Token were the first cards I did in one batch. Then I did Skyline Scout. Then it was Aurelia. Then it was Rhystic Study. I think it was something like that. And I feel like they did release in that order, but I could be wrong about that.
I mean, who knows? Remember. Like the dates are all over the place, and like you just get the assignments like 3 years in advance anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it becomes hard to track at a certain point. But I was really lucky. You know, I'm always going to shout out my art director Cynthia Shepherd. She was an incredible AD at Magic. She doesn't work on my Magic at the moment, I don't think, as an AD, but she was my art director for tons of the cards I got to do, and she was just an absolute joy to work with because I was so nervous, you know, coming onto Magic and
but like,
you know,
I mean, Rustwing Falcon, if that's like the first one you worked on, it's literally draw a big cool bird. Like
I know, I know, I was pretty lucky with that. Actually, honestly, like most of my briefs, I was so stoked with, like. So getting to a big cool bird, a zombie, yeah, absolutely, you know.
Yeah, your zombie is also sick. I like that one a lot. But the Aurelia, man, I use that in my deck now. It's like it's one of my favorite cards because it's like I just love the character and the art you did for it, especially because it came out in that the guild kit, so it's got the Boros logo as its expansion symbol. So I'm like, hell yeah, this is so sick.
Yeah, I went and bought a bunch of those just to have them because I was like, this is so cool.
It is, dude. It's like a sick mythic. It's super playable, super fun. And you did a really great, like, I love the sunlight shining behind it. I love the rays coming through.
It's so cheesy, but I love it.
you know what though? Like sometimes you need, like, especially for a hero character who's like literal angel of justice. Come on. Yeah. It's okay to be a little Howard Lion about it. Let's go.
100%. I love Howard. You know, I love his work.
He's so good. He's so good.
Howard is one of my absolute favorites. You know, the guy is
also like monster. The dude riding the zebra in Modern Horizons, the Zalfir and Decoy. That's so sick.
You know, that's a really fun one because that's a callback to, again, the sets we were talking about earlier. I don't remember if it was Portal or Tempest, but that's a callback to Master Decoy, which is a old card. And I had Master Decoy in or Decoy Master, I can't remember which one it is. I had that. I used to play that card all the time. I don't know if it was
Master Decoy. It was from Tempest.
Yeah. So I actually tried to like match
Phil Folio's version of a zebra.
Yeah, it's so fun. I thought Master Decoy was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny when you compare the two side by side because the Folio art is very cartoon.
Yeah.
And yours is like this super realistic buff dude riding a zebra.
I know. I had to like make him cool, you know.
I mean, it's sick though. It's so cool.
I think he was wearing the original hat at one point, but I think Cynthia asked me to change it because it was like it was just kind of too silly.
Yeah.
And I did a
very
version.
Serious looking guy with that goofy ass hat. Come on.
Yeah, I had a version as well where he had face paint around his eyes, which made it look like he had the cartoon eyes at a glance. And I was like, that's a cool way to get that like cartoon style in there. But it didn't really read.
Yeah, I'm guessing that she was like, no.
No, that's too much.
So can you explain what it's like to get like what is the process of getting an assignment from, say, like Wizards or another company? Like, how does it work? Like, what do they send you?
So every set will have an art Bible. So the art Bible is usually 300 pages roughly of concept art defining, you know, everything from like the ethos of the set to, like, if you're looking at like Ravnica, it'll be, here's what Ravnica looks like. And here's what each of the kind of color profiles are. Here's what Dimir buildings look like. Here's what blah, 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 blah. So you just got tons of material to look at about the sort of general world. And then when you get assigned cards to go with that, it depends on the card. They'll give you a certain amount of information depending on what you're working on. So it might be, I could literally pull up a brief if you want. Give me a sec. I'll kind of give you.
Yeah, I mean, that would be sick because I would love to, because that's one of the things, like, people always hear like, oh yeah, we get an artist brief and then we draw it. And it's hard to explain like how do you get from like 3 words of like, hey, here's Chandra standing in a wave of flame to like Chandra's flame wave. I guess that's probably the exact
that was probably an easy one.
Yeah, like, okay, maybe not that one.
I'll give you an example. So like what's the fairy called? Because in the brief it's called Sparring Fairy. We were chatting
Fairy
before
Vandal?
this, and Fairy Vandal. I was talking about how it's kind of hilarious because we don't know the names of the cards until they come out.
Well, did they tell you that you were drawing Rhystic Studies?
Yes, Rhystic Study. I did know that was Rhystic Study. Yeah, that's a good point. If it's like a classic card and they want to do like either a new version of it or like an homage to it, then it's probably going to be the real name. But a lot of the time it's not. Like if I look through my sort of MTG folder, I mean, almost none of it is the real names of stuff. Starring like, Fairy,
right?
Revenge. I think Revenge Revival might have been correct, but like a lot of them are all over the place.
Yeah, it is wild though. Like, because I'm just thinking about the fact that you were the first person to do a new Ristic Studies ever.
That was such a cool
that's insane, man. For that card, especially.
Yeah. Well, and I tried to, with that card, I tried to pay homage to the original in lots of ways. There's actually a bunch of like objects in that card that are pulled directly from the original. Like that flame thing over to the right of the character is from that. And there's
like
a bunch
the little candle and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Those are little nods.
Nice. But yeah,
also all the maps. Well, this is kind of hilarious. If you want a bit of Ristic Study lore.
I do, yes.
So all of the maps in the background, I think there's like 20 of them or something. I actually like hand drew them all originally based on like locations from Magic. So different maps from Magic the Gathering.
That's so cool.
Put them all in there. And it was cool. But my art director very correctly was like, this is awesome. However, there are going to be people who will look at this very closely and be like, oh, this means these places are coming up in sets soon. Or they're going to read into it like crazy. And they're going to be like, oh my goodness, we're going here, blah, blah, blah. We haven't seen this place in a long, So I had to go back and redraw all those maps.
Oh, no. But they're also deep in the shadows, and at card size, you can't see them anyways?
Yeah, you can't see them at card size. There is one little Easter egg, like the part of the map closest to us on our left, that is a map of Scotland. But I think it's like switched around in a sort of weird way. I forget how it works exactly.
That's sick.
Anyway, for the briefs. Basically what we get is an overview. Well, obviously the color profile that we're doing, whatever identity it has. A bit about the location, the action of the card, and what the focus is. That's kind of generally how it's brought up. So the fairy card, it literally reads location between the columns of books and library. Some shelves have been obviously vandalized. Some books have their covers torn off and loose pages are scattered on the ground. And then the action, a blue male fairy, and it will tell you what page it is. To look at in the reference, outfitted with leather bits and book covers. He's fashioned arm and shin guards out of the spine of a book, blah, blah, blah. So it actually gave me quite a lot of information on what to think about, but the design of the fairy is up to the artist. Usually that's how it goes. You get like bits of information like, hey, we want this to be a kind of a brawler.
It looks like he's doing a Shoryuken at the screen.
I did that kind of deliberately. I thought that was hilarious because
it's awesome, man. The fairy jumping out of the book and uppercutting you in the face. Let's go.
It's very stupid. But some of them are more open. I mean, like again, I'm getting confused with the names. Force of Negation, which was called Mystic Negation at the time, is basically just like, hey, it's a splashy, highly desirable counterspell card. We want to take a shot at making a new classic here with striking choices of composition and color. A blue mage of your design sits serenely, which I didn't do, in the middle of the frame. Around them is an invisible bubble of force protecting them from the bright orange flames that fill the rest of the frame. So lots of information there, but lots of scope to play around and design the character myself. And in the end, one of my sketches, I believe she was sitting down. Another one, she's standing. And yes, it is a woman. Not that anyone has ever picked up on that because she's very androgynous. But
she's deep inside of a blue bubble of electricity.
Yes, exactly, and bald. But I actually did design that character. But yeah, that's a random.
If I stick my face right in my monitor, I can see that there's a feminine silhouette.
Yeah,
but also when I'm playing the card, it's blue bubble inside of red bubble.
It's blue guy in red. Basically the briefs can be pretty vague or very specific if it's like a famous character.
So one of the ones I've always loved of yours is Young Necromancer that you did Modern Horizons 2. Because the adorable little girl is the Liliana fangirl trying to raise the dead or whatever. But you make it look so cute and charming, even though she's obviously in a crypt and stuff. It's like,
yeah, I mean the brief again, it was Cynthia on that one. She wanted her to look like playful and fun. She wanted this kind of nice contrast with this one. It's just a little kid. She's just like Liliana's biggest fan. She wants.
She's just Liliana. 9 years old or something. Yeah. She's just I'm gonna do what my hero does.
Exactly. Which is a nightmare to paint because kids are so hard to paint.
Because you have to make their face soft and kind of not adulty, but like the expression you got, like, and trying to do that at scale is so hard, but like you managed to put this whimsy in her face, which is just so, it sells the story really, really well.
I'm glad that one landed. I enjoyed painting the graveyard as well because, again, I'm a goth boy and I just want to paint graveyards because that's not much to ask. For anyone who can see the biggest version of that, if you ever find like a large version of that, just zoom in on the cats. They are so goofy. I completely ran out of time on the cats and they look unbelievably bad. Like all of them look terrible. There's one in particular that's looking up at her at the bottom of her skirt, and it is the goofiest thing I've ever. It's like a terrible 3D model that I painted over, and it
looked like a really large rat.
Yeah, it's really bad. That's what happens with art commissions. Sometimes you don't have enough time, it happens.
Yeah. God, man. And it's funny, like, because I'm looking at the cascading cataracts you did, and again, there's like a rainbow there, and there's no green in it anywhere.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
The biggest hint of green. I was like,
I absolutely don't believe it. Yeah, I like that one. But it's one of those, I have no way to tell you what colors are in there.
Yeah,
there may have been green at some point, but I can't see it, so I don't know.
Okay, but you drew for the most recent one you did the Furby friggin' secret layer drop, which is on a bright green field, dog.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. Like the nice thing with working, I mean, actually, this is traditional as well. I can use green paint.
Yeah,
I can just slap on green paint, and I'm like, okay, it's green. But but it might change over time, and like I mostly see it as like yellows and browns. But I'm aware that there's green in there somewhere. Yes, it was.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep harping on that. It's just like it's fascinating to me that it's like such a visual medium having such a challenging, like, it's like I paint with one hand, like what?
It's very stupid. Yeah,
it just seems like everybody's like, oh yeah, Beethoven was deaf, and I'm like, how the hell do you, like, it's literally the thing. I mean, I don't know. That's to me that just seems very.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess like most of your artwork doesn't really worry about that because it's all brown and stuff. So
So here's the thing. It does come up a lot in my work for sure. When I was art directing, it was a very, very common problem or stressor for me, because I would be doing color scripts I worked at Axis Studios for a few years as an art director. That's the studio that did all the Magic the Gathering cinematics, the big famous ones, the Liliana, Ravnica. I forget them all, but like all those big, beautiful cinematics that everyone was like, wow, Wizards has really upped its game. It's like, yes, they paid Axis Studios in Glasgow to animate these. I worked at that studio for a few years, and art directing is great fun. I love it. It's one of my passions. It was sometimes difficult when I would go in front of a team and they'd be like, why did you choose green for the palette here? And I'm like, I didn't know I did, to be honest. But no, I have to nonsense my way around it.
Yeah, it's like,
well, it really adds to
the rebirth of the
exactly. Yeah. I wanted to catch people off guard because it's so out there compared to the rest of the color script,
Okay, but here's a question for you though. If you've been an art director, you've been in like Cynthia's shoes and stuff like that, is it like, now that you've been as a director of like a person who commissions artwork and gets it back and has to critique it, has it changed how you respond to art direction from other people?
I mean, I think
I know where they're coming from, kind of.
I think I'm just very forgiving generally, and I kind of know. I definitely know what that job is like. I haven't worked as an illustration art director at nearly that scale. I mean, the art directors on WotC are they have so much to do. They're working with like 100 or more artists, so that's a crazy scale. But so I guess the main thing is like I know what that job is like, and so if people take a while to respond or whatever, then I'm like, yeah, fair enough. They're busy, But I think, and also like a big part of this job is being comfortable with feedback. You have to be. I expect feedback on my work. If I don't get it, I'm like, oh, okay, really? Are you blind? Look at those cats. But no, yeah, I don't know if it's changed it so much as like I just kind of understand the gig. So I'm like, I'm never upset when I get feedback. Occasionally, I'll kind of push. I'm not afraid to like push back on something if I'm like, I don't agree with that. But I think that's just so much in a conversational way.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like, my art is untouchable and you are just a heathen swine trying to, versus like, I think you're onto something, but it works because the composition needs this piece here.
Yeah, you can always have a conversation. And that's something that you can always do if you have an art director who's like knows what they're doing. It becomes harder when you're working with like very small companies and they maybe don't have an art director, so the person you're interfacing with is just like some guy, and they're like, I don't like this. And then at that point, like, it's my job as the artist to be like, that's okay. It's good. You don't have to understand it. You can trust me, the expert person, like that's a more difficult thing.
I mean, that's
the thing. The art directors is great.
Like, I've had to write art descriptions for people before, and I'm a writer. I'm not an artist, but I know what things look like. But I always try to like, so yeah, here's a question. So this is, I guess, more for me than for anybody else. But when you as an artist are getting a brief, do you prefer to have it more open-ended, or do you prefer to have as much detail as I can jam into there?
That's a good question. I honestly don't mind. I'm actually not that fussy. A more open-ended is nicer for certain kinds of works. Like if you're telling me to work on a piece that's like a landscape or something where you're like, the theme is teriyaki, I don't know, like, and there's no real like visual identity to that, and then I can just have fun. That's incredible fun. But if it's like, we want you to do a take of this character and they're doing this and they're doing this, it's sometimes better to know more about what they want than less, because otherwise you get into this weird situation where you draw something and send it back and they're like, not that. And then you do it and they're like, not that. And it's like, just tell me what you want. I don't mind being like, the factory that produces art.
Like, that's my job. With Aurelia, they probably were like, here's an established character. Here's all the things she has looked like. Make her look like this, doing something else.
Yeah, make her look cool. I don't think I have the brief for her here, but yeah, it's basically like, it's Aurelia.
Yeah. But like Swamp, what did they give you for Swamp? Draw a swamp in Eldraine?
I can find it if you give me just a second. Swamp. Sorry, this is good
that's
content.
Fair. No, it's I love it. I think it's like having access to this stuff is not something we get every day, so I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Like, I'm going to be asking you about the Sky Shark next, so prep yourself.
Sky Shark so much.
That card is so good. I play it in so many decks. I didn't even realize you had drawn it, and I was like, "Oh, I should just have brought it with your head beside it." Jesus.
I very much love my Sky Shark. I'm finding every single brief except for the Swamp right now. Somehow, I'm like, how is this even possible? Is this it? No, that's confirmation that it got accepted. I have no idea.
Okay, well, what about the pathways? Right, the Bright Climb and Grim Climb pathway.
Yeah, so they were a very quick turnaround, those cards. I think I did those in like a day or two.
Wow, really?
I do have the brief here, apparently. So the bright side was a lush plain with the light of Starnheim in the sky. The intent: this land is one side of a multi-landed card, a multi-faced land. Each face represents a different path an explorer may take. Show the bright white light of Starnheim shining above a rolling field. A Valkyrie flies over the landscape towards the light on the horizon. The Valkyrie should be a minor element compared to the landscape, which is why you like it. It's just a little guy.
Exactly, a little guy on the land. There we go.
Yeah, and the mood is hopeful and bright. So that's like, there's almost no like definition of like what is
just like, look,
world.
You know what these things all look like. Go.
Yeah, here's the stuff. Have fun. I do like those kind of briefs a lot, because then I get to kind of, a lot of the time my process for that is like, okay, cool. Are there any like classic pieces of art I want to draw homage to here? Can I pull elements from stuff I really love from Magic's history, or do we create something original? Do we pull from history? Again, because I have my concept art brain, I'm always looking to find stuff to make the thing more than just like, it's a guy flying over a field,
Well, like in your 9 lives, for instance, you've got the cat in the middle and then 8 of the most famous cats in Magic hanging out in the sky. I love that so much.
I think that's like one of my most loved pieces, which I think is really sweet. Like, I had a lot of people, I remember when I posted it on Twitter, RIP Twitter, back when it used to be a
back
website
when it was
that
good.
we would go on. Yeah. Yeah, I used to have people often doing like edits of their cats into that one. And I actually did I saved out a version. I'll post it on Blue Sky if people would like it. I did a version of it that removes the main cat, so people could Photoshop their own cats in there.
That's cool. That's hella cool.
I know. Well, it was such a nice card.
I just like it because there's like, there's Kamba and there's like Jedit O'Jonan and Najani. I'm like, do you know that I have the original playtest version of Jedit O'Jonan?
Really?
Oh yeah, like the one. Hang on, I'm going to show you this. Hang on.
That was worth a fortune.
It's literally on a playing card.
Oh my goodness!
And this is what the original Jedit O'Jonan was.
Oh, that is so cool!
It's
what
like
an awesome thing to own.
It on a card, and it just is cool lady with a sword sitting on a table. And I'm like, well, congrats on your transition, I guess, from Hot Warrior to Cat Dude.
Yeah, I mean it's a furry glow up, really.
Yeah. But it's like the coolest. It's the coolest thing I own because it's my favorite character card. It's a card that got me into Magic. So I was like, oh,
so nice.
And I ended up like meeting a guy who just happened to have the entire playtest set of Legend. So I got it from him.
That's such a bonkers thing to happen.
Yeah, well, because me and the prof were hanging out in Vegas, and someone came up to us like, "Hey, you want to see all of the original beta versions of like Legends and like of Alpha and Beta?" And I'm like, yes, I would love to see that. And he's like, "Here's the original Lana War Elf. Here's Jedit," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And so I was like, "Can I buy that from you?" So I did.
If you can get me that Lana War Elves, that'd be great. I'll take
my god, dude, it was so sick. Yeah, man. Like, which one have you enjoyed the most? Which drawing did you enjoy doing, or were you like the most hyped to do?
Sorry, I was trying to see if I could find 9 lives in there.
That would be cool. Like, what did the 9 lives brief look like?
I definitely have it somewhere. I think a bunch of my files are on a different machine, which is why I'm getting so lost in my own folder structure here. But yeah, 9 lives was basically the brief was basically, hey, this common house cat is the next natural ancestor of all of these 8 famous cats, which I absolutely adore. And I really want to show you the sketches. I think I posted the sketches on Twitter. What I'm going to do is I'll put all this stuff on Blue Sky over the next few days.
Sure.
I've got so much stuff on Twitter that I need to get rid of because my profile's private on Twitter. Because I don't want to be there. But I've got all the breakdowns of my process and stuff like that on over there. So I'll try and move that stuff over. But 9 lives. My actual favorite sketch for that one wasn't the Mufasa one, and that is what I called that. I was like, this is the Mufasa version. It was a version where I love this sketch so much, and I understand why we went with the one we went with. But the sketch I liked the most was this common house cat lying down in front of a fire, where it was basically where we would be sitting. So it was lying in front of the fire in this like little cottage. And all of its 8 ancestors were just like crammed in. So the biggest one was like tilting its head. They were all just like this idea that these poor stupid ancestors were stuck in this tiny cat's house. I loved it so much. I really liked that.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's so funny.
We got Mufasa. It's still fun.
Yeah, but I love this one because it is literally just a house cat with like all of the great cat lords of Magic just chilling.
Yeah, I'm planning to do a playmat of that one, I think. I've been planning to do playmats forever. And I'm like,
dude.
If I do it, it has to be like that one and Ristic and Force Negation and something else.
Swamp.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Dude, landscapes rule as playmats. Yeah. And that Swamp is so, or like, I don't know, Aurelia.
Yeah, Aurelia would make sense. I'll probably do a Kickstarter and maybe like do a little poll and be like, what would people like? I've been planning to do this for like 10 years or
I know. Like
5 years.
You had some hard times there, but I'm glad to see that you've come back and are drawing again and good fun.
Yes, it's been great. The last few years have been absolutely amazing. It's been so good getting back to Magic again. I've been working on a bunch of recent sets that you'll see in 1 to 2 years. Who knows? It feels so good to be back on it.
Yeah. It's like almost like you're in the Duress artwork and you broke all the chains.
I was in the Duress artwork. Duress and Lost in Thought. What was that called again? Chain to Memory. Those were my depression cards.
Oh, Jesus.
And I got out of it. So we're hallelujah.
Yeah, Chain to Memory definitely is like everything is sad.
Yeah, that was the one I talked to Prof about it. I feel like on somewhere. I was very depressed and I wanted to do a card about depression. So I drank a bottle of whiskey and painted that.
Great.
Pretty goth, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely, and dude's wearing a kilt too. It looks.
Yeah, pretty much.
It looks like a Scottish guy.
Yeah, it was a little bit self-referential.
I'm like,
what does it all mean?
All right, can we talk about the Sky Shark and Braylon Sky Shark Rider?
Yes, 100%.
Because these cards rule. For one thing, Sky Shark is such an unassumingly insane card that I have won so many games with.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah, like I don't even use the Rider. I just put it into this blue-white draw a ton of cards deck I have. And it turns out a very large shark kills people dead.
Yeah, they're famous for that.
Yeah, but like that must have been a weird brief. It's like, hey, I need you to draw these two things. It is a lady riding on top of a flying shark. And you're like, yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, personal shark plus the shark itself. Yeah, it was pretty bonkers. But that was another one where I got to pull my like concept art brain in there, because I had like a whole story for the two characters, and I tried to kind of like represent them. Like the character has like a tattoo of the shark, like there's a bunch of sort of cultural stuff in there, and like using, because sharks' teeth fall out and then they regrow, so they're using the shark's teeth in their sawtooth blade and all this kind of stuff. There's kind of like all these ways to link the two characters together. But yeah, I think that one was fun, just like showing a character who's just having a great time. You know, like it's not a dark, intense card. One of them, the sky shark itself, I can't remember what it's called, Shabraz, which is the stupidest.
Yes.
Is it Shabraz? Shabraz!
Yes. Shabraz.
I love Shabraz so much. It sounds like it's
just like
cry.
A magic word, like Shabraz.
Shabraz! I love Shabraz. And then, Browlin or whatever. Like, I had so much fun coming up with
Yeah, she looks like she's like Polynesian or something to that effect.
Bunch of it's like trying to do like a non-specific reference there with like hints of culture without, it's the classic drawing from culture without feeling like you're just ripping it off too much,
Yeah, man.
So changing.
I love your art so much. It's so fun.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I think those ones are fun, and like they're pure fun, which I really enjoy. Actually, I've got to do a few smiling, happy characters, which is nice. Like, there's a few in there somewhere.
I mean, Robert the Rich is happy and smiling because he's just about to wreck you.
But very happy.
That must be weird. How do you draw do you have to like flip the canvas over to draw them upside down like that?
Originally I think I designed him to be the other way up. And the scene was the upside down thing. I like this kind of double read thing where you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a guy. Wait. And then you have this second read where you're like, oh, everything's upside down. So yeah, I just kind of drew him. It's actually almost a self-portrait as well. I think I just used myself as reference for that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I love that one as well. I mean, yeah,
the card is also such a house.
Yeah, I've always heard that's a really good one. I don't play with any of my own cards ever, so I don't really, except in Magic Arena, where I do have a deck that is comprised of only my cards as much as possible, which is utterly unplayable because I don't have enough of anything.
Dude, there's a format that Mike Linneman created called like artist vintage or something like that, which is basically just like all the cards are done by one artist, all the lands, all the everything. And so it's like, so cool. It's really cool if you're one of the people who's gotten to draw a full cycle of lands. Like John Avon's decks are super easy to build.
Yeah, exactly. No, I really am struggling in that
right now. That's why I got mono black.
Exactly.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, this has been really fun. Like, aren't you doing like classes and stuff? Don't you teach people how to paint now?
Yeah, so I've been doing, for the last year, I've been doing a mentorship program. We've done, I think I've had 92 students or something now over the last year. And we're starting again this year. It's called Mastering Imaginative Realism. And it's basically for teaching people who are already artists, I will specify, how to push their work towards Magic the Gathering. So, it's like a 8-week course where there's set lessons every week. And then we do a live review every weekend. And it's a class focus, which is really fun because it's always like 12 roughly people in the class, and they all become friends during the course, which is really fun. And then they get to live on in the Discord forever.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love teaching, so it's a real pleasure to sit down with people and help them push their stuff forwards a bit,
And like you've been working on your own project, this crazy goth thing for a while.
Yeah,
super crazy, turbo goth thing.
Crazy, yeah. Pale Tides is still on Kickstarter for late pledges if anyone wants to back it. Pale Tides is an original TTRPG where you play as witches fighting the church and also monsters from Celtic folklore. So yeah, that will also be due out later this year. My deadline is Halloween, so
goodness,
it's gonna be a crazy year, man.
Yeah, you got a lot of drawing to do. Like
a lot of writing, a lot of drawing. Yeah. But it's such a pleasure to design your own system, write everything yourself, create the world. So far it's really just me working on it, so it's a joy.
It's been great to, like, having followed you for a while now, it's really great to see you thriving again. Because there was when you were depressed and dark, it was just like black hole, right? Like, you were gone, you weren't answering anything, but it's so nice it's just good to have you just energized again. It's like cool.
There was some real insane life stuff that happened during COVID that wasn't even COVID related, and it was a nightmare. I had a bunch of AP orders that people had made that I tried to get done for like 2 years and then had to refund everyone, which was a nightmare. Like, there was all this stuff. I ended up dropping loads of clients. I almost lost magic, because I had to bail on so many cards. But it was really cool that I got to, once I got back to the UK and kind of was able to get back on my feet, that they took me back and let me paint more cards, and it's been going really well. And now I'm doing a project. It's awesome.
Where were you at? You were not in the UK?
Oh, I was in many places, my friend. I stayed in 30 different places during that 2-year period.
The 2-year period where nobody's supposed to travel.
During that. Well, before and during that time. Yeah, that was it was crazy. But
the wandering artist is not really a path we recommend to most people.
Oh, it was a time, my friend. It was a time.
Yeah, but you're back now, and we're here, and it's jamming, and it's awesome, and it's good to see you again, dude.
It's been great. Look after your mental health, everybody, and
highly recommend it. Yes. Though, if folks wanted to find you or your stuff or your games or anything, where can they go?
I'm using Blue Sky and Instagram mostly as my social platforms now. So I think it's just paulscottcanavan.com, which is my website. On Blue Sky, which is weird. The website thing is strange. Just search for Paul Canavan, you'll find me.
You'll find me.
And I think I'm Paul Scott Canavan on Instagram as well. And check out Pale Tides. Just Google Pale Tides Kickstarter. You can see a bit about it if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
It looks really cool. The art looks really sick. I'm looking forward to giving it a shot later. It's gonna be
I'll
fun.
Send you a copy for sure.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Are you going to come back for GDC this year or ever again?
Not until Trump is not the president of America.
God willing, anytime soon.
No.
That being notwithstanding, Amsterdam. Are you going to be in Amsterdam?
Maybe. I'm talking to people about that right now.
Okay, cool.
So I would, if I can, I would love to see you there.
Because I'm also in the doing my best to make it to Amsterdam phase, because I really want to go back. It was so much fun last year.
I'll let you know for sure. I'm hoping to do like 2 or 3 events this year. Maybe London, fun. Maybe Amsterdam. So I'll let people know. Because I just did one last year, my first ever Magic Con type thing.
Yeah, how was that?
It was great. It was Command Fest. It was super fun.
It's very chill, and people are like very happy to see you, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Magic community. The Magic community are genuinely lovely. This is not just like, nonsense to try and get people to buy my stuff. Like, no, genuinely, Magic has such a warm, like, great, inclusive community, which is something you don't often get in video games, especially. I've worked in games for so long,
Yeah.
It's great. It's cool as heck just getting to sit down and, sign cards. And the funniest thing, I know we need to wrap it up, but the funniest thing about the whole event.
I'm the one who edits it. You can be as long as you want, dude.
Well, I also need to run away in 5 minutes anyway. But I just like instinctively draw Furbies on stuff. So whenever someone wanted like a signature, some of them would be like, "Can you do a sketch?" I'm like, "I don't do sketches at events. Like, I actually hate drawing. I'm really bad at drawing." Genuinely, I'm not like my mind goes completely blank when someone asks me to draw something.
So then it's a good thing that I didn't ask you to draw a soldier for me for my soldier collection.
I would have drawn a Furby. Like, so I just drew so many weird Furbies at that event. People kept being like, "Oh my God, one day they should do like a Furby deck or whatever." And I'd already done my card like half a year before. So I was like, "Oh my God, wouldn't that be so cool?"
We can't leave without that story. How the hell was that? What was that email like when they're like, "So Paul, we would like you to draw a Furby."
So, well, one of my probably most known pieces of art is the Furbeast, which was this like stupid doodle I did. If you just Google Furbeast, it will be the top result. Yes, it's the top result. It was a stupid doodle I did at some point a few years ago, and so I just became associated.
Oh my God, that was you?
That was me. Yes, that thing has been so viral so many times.
It was like horrifying.
It got like 20,000 views on Twitter every time it popped up. So when Evan Fong, actually, great, amazing artist, she recommended me for that set. She was like, you have to have Paul in the set because he's the Furby guy. So I got an email just being like, do you want to draw this Furby? And I was like, well, of course I want to draw the Furby. I was sad I didn't get to do one of the creepy evil ones though. But
come on, dude.
The cute one is great too.
It's funny, like I was talking to Justine Jones, and she's like the world's biggest Furby enjoyer. I guess you and her kind of tie. And she was so mad that she was like busy on another assignment and couldn't do the Furby thing. It
was such a joy. It was like one of the stupidest crossovers ever. But it also kind of makes sense. I don't know, like Furbies
I don't know about that, buddy.
They don't feel that removed from, like, it's a little fantasy guy. It's like a gremlin. It feels like it could live in Lorwyn or Eldraine or something.
I don't know. It feels like last year there were some secret layers that came, like the Furby, the Office.
There were so many. There were
so weird.
So many. New secret layer alert.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but like the Furbies are also just like, the creepy ones are horrifying.
I know, I love them very much. I'm a big fan. I got the set sent to me and I was like, yes, delicious.
Oh my God, like Umbrus. Oh, dude, you know what? No, none of that. Nope, not happening. But anyways, I'm glad to see you back and working on.
Great to catch up.
God damn it.
All right, to the audience, you have to listen to this.
Anyways, my friend, as always, you can find me on Blue Sky at Shivam Bhatt. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are sold or at YouTube every Tuesday, thanks to my editor, Dan. You can also hear me on Shivam Wheel of Love Magic or the Chronicles of Dragonlance podcast. And remember, my friends, it's not magic without the gathering, and we'll see you next time.